Chloé, or I think it's technically Chloé, isn't really a brand that I've been known to keep tabs on, okay? I never really grew up too connected to the brand. My mum wasn't a Chloé girl, so I wasn't really just like keeping up to date with what the brand was doing. I would see its concession stands in like Selfridges and stuff like that, but it never felt like an aesthetic that I would ever wear, so I just never gravitated towards it. So imagine my surprise for fall/winter 2024 when Chemena Kamali showed her debut collection for Chloé, and all of a sudden I was interested. What? How is that possible? How is it possible that a brand so far removed from my aesthetic has piqued my interest? It's carefree, it's air-dried hair, it's skipping down the cobblestone streets of a town in France. It is very that vibe, and I wouldn't really describe my vibe as that. So I found it even more fascinating that I loved this collection so much. It felt fresh but familiar, and it felt dramatic but wearable, and I just was so enamoured by the change that's happened within this brand. So I wanted to have a little bit of a casual chat about why I think Chloé is going to be one of the hottest brands of 2024. I think it's going to be climbing that Lyst index like it's nobody's business. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, well, then you're probably going to love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. First, I would like to give a very brief history of the brand so that you know what we're dealing with. Founded in 1952 by Gabby Aguillon. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. The brand has gone through quite a number of different creative directors over the years. 11-ish over its lifespan, and I say ish because up until a certain point there was a sort of creative group doing all of the creative director work, really. So 11 from Karl Lagerfeld's first appointment onwards. Karl Lagerfeld was creative director of Chloé in 2 different stints for a combined 18 years. Phoebe Philo was at the brand from 2001 to 2006. Claire Waite Keller was at the brand for 6 years between 2011 to 2017. The brand has gone through a lot of sort of versions of itself. Stella McCartney was creative director there for a while, and the brand was given much more of like an edgy rock vibe. But the initial version of the brand has always been this sort of very bohemian, like I said, loose, light, airy, feminine fabrics. When it comes to their sort of iconic or signature pieces, you see a lot of this like variations of a silk blouse. You will also sort of see the cape that was introduced, I think, in the 70s. For example, in the newer sort of collections, there's a cropped version that sort of is a reference back to that. In 2006, the brand introduced wedges as part of their shoe collection. That again is a constant that we sort of see and that we see referenced a lot now under new Chloé very often. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see variations of this every season. But in 2001, under Phoebe Philo, the brand introduced leather goods. And the brand's first It bag was debuted 4 years later, and that, ladies and gentlemen, was the Chloé Paddington bag. This was a soft leather, sort of luggage-inspired, it had thick handles, contrast stitching, shoulder bag style, with a ginormous padlock swinging front and centre. It was worn by every celebrity under the sun, it felt like. Following on from that, according to Sarah Mower in a 2009 Vogue story, every one of the 8,000 made in spring 2005 was spoken for before it reached the stores. That is the level of popularity that this bag had. In 2010, the next cohort of popular Chloé bags followed. So you had the Marcy, which is this sort of saddle, it's got this saddle flap design on the front, sort of hobo style. Then the Nile bag. This seemed to be the mandatory bag for all fashion bloggers at the time. It had this sort of bracelet handle and a semicircular little body, and you couldn't not see this bag on social media. There was also the Drew bag, which was this sort of crossbody style, and the Faye, which was, it kind of had like a suede and then plain leather combination with this sort of ring chain detail I never got that bag. I never understood what was going on there and why. Then it felt like Chloé fell off the radar for a bit, and to be honest with you, the only items that I really think of in the past few years when I think of Chloé were, they had the scalloped edge trainers that were really popular, and the Nama trainer, right, because it was light and it had this like cool stitching detail. It's still a great shoe, in all honesty, right, with like the fluted little sole situation. But it really, in terms of like getting excited for its runway shows, that wasn't there. It just felt like it was laying dormant. It felt like it was semi in hibernation. Then fall winter 2024 came along, and it was a sort of unanimous success. Everybody loved the collection. I say everybody, I'm talking like, you know, fashion critics and all of that. I don't think anybody had a bad word to say about it. Like I said, it felt fresh, but it felt like that is the Chloé girl. Chemena Kamali is now the creative director, and she has a history with the brand. She worked under Phoebe Philo at the brand, left, rejoined as design director under Claire Waite-Keller, and then her last job before coming back as creative director was as women's wear ready-to-wear design director at Saint Laurent with Anthony Vaccarello. Okay, so fall winter 2024 the collection showed, and from then on it has been seen by a range of celebrities. Sienna Miller has worn a few pieces from this collection, J-Lo, Beyonce, Zoe Saldana, Daisy Edgar-Jones for her Twister movie press run, it was for press, and she was wearing it. Keira Knightley, Kaya Gerber, you know, and I think it also should be noted that there's a big age range here in terms of who is wearing these pieces, and I think that speaks to the generational appeal of new Chloé. That's something that helps with a brand's success and virality when lots of different types of people or ages of people can see themselves in these pieces. I will say we could have done without the Met Gala move. So the Met Gala theme was Sleeping Beauty, and then we're just seeing, what was it, like was there 4 women? I can't remember how many women there were. 4, you know, celebrities just dressed head to toe runway Chloé. And it was like, okay, well, this is clearly a press move to promote it. First of all, it didn't need any promoting. It was a great collection, but also not on theme. Okay, listen, I have my rules when it comes to the Met Gala, and I thought that it was a lazy move, to be very honest with you. However, this collection did not launch without a little bit of controversy. So shortly after the collection showed, the trunk show went live on Moda Operandi. There was some reaction to the prices of the pieces because they were astronomical. There was like a beautiful dress, and it was like $16,000. A beautiful chiffon light and airy shirt. Oh yes, it's $3,000. Prices that you wouldn't necessarily expect of Chloé as a brand, but then again, to be honest with you, coming from somebody that wasn't keeping tabs on their prices before, I don't know if I have the mouth to speak on this. But basically, there was a lot of shock to do with the prices, especially of the ready-to-wear. So how can a brand become the hottest brand and become successful if it's so wildly unattainable? And that, my friends, is through the accessories. As I've mentioned, Chloé historically is no stranger to a knit bag. However, we haven't had one under new Chloé yet. Again, it's early days. Let's give her some time to cook there. Yeah, the bags haven't quite been popping off. The shoes is, I think, the gateway into new Chloé. So the Eva thigh-high boots were the standout shoe from fall-winter 2024. As seen on Beyonce and many other celebrities. Gab Waller mentioned it as a hot item as well in her Vogue column. And whilst, yes, it has sold out in some colourways for the popular sizes, there are still a lot sort of floating around, and I think that $2,000 price tag is a part of it. I think the kick sneaker has a lot of potential. It is a trendy-ish style retro sneakers, that sort of very flat to the floor, hardly any sole looking boxing, wrestling inspired sneaker is coming back as a trend. It suits that. It's also a style that a lot of people can wear, integrate into their wardrobes. It's also not at an insane price point. All of these things together, I think, mean that it can be quite popular. I think that also the sunglasses from Spring Summer 2024, I don't see a reason why they can't be a runaway success. You've got these very 70s styles, you know, big oversized square frames, a great little ombre tint there. They've also included these little charms that feel a little bit trendy, definitely are trendy, but the styles without the charms also feel very sort of, like I said, 70s, but timeless and easy to wear. And I think that that will also be a big success for them. This is a brand that sets trends. They single-handedly brought boho back in one runway show, right? Is that a bold claim? Oh, other brands have been doing boho. Yeah, but nobody was doing it to the extent of, fair enough, it is in the DNA of the brand, but that was the flame that ignited the fire, in my opinion. And whilst, yes, there are loads of brands that can do this, that is a level of power and influence that shouldn't go unnoticed. Maybe I'm hyping them up, and for what reason? I'm not even a Chloé girl, but I believe in them, and my little spidey senses are tingling, and I feel the need to share. I think in terms of the bag, the camera bag has the best option to do well. I think the suede variations for Spring Summer 2025 are great and have the potential to pop off there, but they need to have an it bag in order to really get the new Chloé customer in, like with 2 feet. 1 foot is the Chloé kick sneakers, like I'm dipping my toe in here. 2 feet, you've got a bag, all right? This is my theory. I think that great quality, well-priced accessories, possibly along with an it bag, and the continuation of Chloé building their world, what the Chloé girl looks like, by dressing celebrities. We see these pieces moving in quote-unquote real life, not on a runway, being able to craft that bohemian planet that Chloé lives on can make Chloé huge. I also think that in a time when there's a lot of transition with creative directors, like this year there's a lot of debuts happening, but it takes a while and we don't give people enough time for people to really get stuck in, get their hero products underway. We're seeing it with Alaya and their hero products now. Chloé, we're seeing the hero products, you know, come trickling in. I think that we now are getting a little bit of consistency from the brand, whilst other brands are just sort of getting started on their new eras, that again, Chloé has its time to shine this year. And I think that we're going to be talking about them a lot. I think their ready-to-wear is still going to be great. I think that the accessories is where they get the new Chloé customer in. They just have to do that by bringing great quality and prices that, you know, don't make you want to go and possibly see how much a liver is going for on the black market. There we go. Those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on new Chloé? Let me know. I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.